Simple living is something that I think we all crave deep down. Our world has become so full and fast-paced, and there's a longing to get back to our roots. We're fascinated by Little House on the Prairie, vegetable gardens in the summertime, wood stoves in the wintertime. I used to say, half joking, half serious, that I thought I was born 100 years too late. Although, I do like electricity. That's a really good invention. And pants. I do like to wear pants. So what's the first step toward living a simpler life? Toward being a producer and a creator rather than just a consumer? I'd argue that it's not purging your closets, it's not getting chickens, and it's not even starting a garden. I think the first step toward living a simpler life is to start in the kitchen. So in today's video, I'm going to show you around my kitchen a little bit, show you what's in my cupboards, my back pantry. I do cook a lot from scratch, but there are some things that I don't make from scratch, and that's okay. You've got to start somewhere, right? So I hope that this little tour will give you some inspiration on maybe some ways that you can simplify your own kitchen. Let's start up here in what I like to call my baking cupboard. It's up above this counter space that houses my mixer and Christmas goodies. So it's easy to access. I like to keep my flours and sugars and those sorts of dry goods here. Popcorn next to the stove, easy to get at. I've been trying to switch over as much as I can into glass jars, although these square containers are really nice because they hold a little bit more than, say, a half-gallon mason jar, like what those things are there. Half-gallon and a couple of quart jars. Actually, these containers will hold a 5-pound bag of flour, so that's nice to be able to put in there that way. I do have some things on hand that are marshmallows, Jell-O, things like that, but I've been buying more and more in bulk lately. I'll show you some of the overstock where I keep those. Yeah, this is where the baked goods tend to live. Next to it over here, I normally used oils and some of the other sauces and vinegars and that sort of stuff that is shelf stable, that doesn't get used super frequently, but it's a good place to put it. I have this basket here of things like nuts and raisins and things that are for salads. This is a really nice, easy way to just pull out to the table if we need some salad toppings. On the other side of the stove over here is where I keep my spices. I've tried to put them in a couple of baskets that are easy to pull out and find what we need. I would love to have a rack, one of those like big rectangle things that have the little spots in them to, you know, store all the jars like this, like that. That would be really nice someday. This works for now. I discovered that I have a whole lot more spices in the middle to the end of the alphabet versus the beginning of the alphabet. So most everything that's in here starts with the letter C. Or, oh, what's that mint extract doing there? That's not supposed to be there. Yeah, beginning of the alphabet, later in the alphabet. Over here is more of the baking and extracts and sprinkles and toothpicks and miscellaneous things up there. Easy to get at. Regular salt and pepper shakers as well as salt and pepper grinders. I mix up my own taco seasoning mix, which is one of the big reasons why I like to buy my spices in bulk. And yeah, that's where the spices are. One of the things that I really fell in love with about this house when we looked at it, we've been here for about 1.5 years now, is that the kitchen has so much counter and cupboard space. And I know not everybody has that. And so please don't be jealous it really was a blessing to be able to find a place that had so much space within the kitchen. Over in this cupboard here are some of the other things that we'll use regularly. Rice and quinoa and pasta. I recently discovered this cheddar cheese powder from Azure Standard for mixing up. My kids love macaroni and cheese. Of course, they loved the like Kraft and whatnot, but we've tried that powder so far once and they really like it. So those types of dry goods, as well as other miscellaneous things, canned beans and tomato soup and rice mixes. Yes, we even have some ramen noodles because sometimes when you're sick, it just is easy and sounds good. Eventually, I do want to do more with canning of my own pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, tomato soup, that sort of thing. But you know what? You got to start somewhere. And I chose to work on other projects this year. And so eventually, sure, I'll probably look into how to find some good recipes that my family likes. But in the meantime, do with what you've got, what you like. Our family loves this pizza sauce, and so that's what we'll stick with for now. You don't have to empty your cupboards completely of stuff made by other companies, processed stuff. Just start with one thing and go from there. That's what we did. And then the other two cupboards that are here are breakfast stuff. Yep, we totally buy sugary cereals, oatmeal, that sort of thing. That's kind of our breakfast cupboard. And then this is snacks. Could I make my own crackers and granola bars? Sure. Am I willing to put the time and energy into that right now? Nope. Again, we found what we like. Even chips and nuts and things like that. Sure. I've been dehydrating fruit. I love to eat dehydrated food as a snack. Eventually, I hope to do a blog post and video on how to do some of that. But yeah, those are those types of things. And potatoes and onions get stored down there. And I need to go to the store. I need more potatoes. Sure, there's some processed stuff in my pantry, but little by little, we're working on doing even more from scratch. And then back here, off the kitchen actually, is the laundry room. We live in a manufactured home, so it would have been modeled to have an exterior door, like your back door to your house. We don't really need or use this door at all because the slider is right there and it goes to the deck, and the deck is just fully enclosed, so we never need to use this door. Maybe we'll eventually put some sort of shelving or something there, but laundry room, and this is also where I store extra stuff. So the things that I canned this year, we've slowly been working through a handful of things. I've already used up my quart jars of tomato sauce, but this past year, for my first time having a garden and going to the farm market regularly and doing more canning than I've ever done before in my life. It was awesome, but I tried to keep it simple and not overdo it. I tried to do things that my family would eat, and we'll see how much we go through before next season. So I've got dill pickle relish. We don't like sweet relish, we like dill relish, but I made a ton of it, so I will probably not need to make any of that next year. Tomato sauce, like I said, I did have some quarts of tomato sauce that I had made as well, but I've already used those up in things like chili. I've got applesauce. There's a few random miscellaneous jars. My mom was here at Christmas time, and that was her Christmas gift to us, was some of the things that she had canned. Regular canned peaches, a couple more jars of peach salsa, apple butter, strawberry rhubarb jam, and that's all that I canned this year. But we also use this space for storing overstock of other things. So some of the snacks that our family eats regularly, things like tortilla shells, that's my 10-pound bucket of salt, other baking supplies. When I'm running low, I try to get a big bag or a handful of small bags and just have at least one extra of everything that I use regularly back here. One thing each of the oils that we use regularly: coconut oil, olive oil, and avocado oil, some ketchups and mayo and Parmesan, and regular vegetable oil for frying things, because honestly, avocado oil is kind of expensive and I don't mind baking with it and cooking with it, but if I'm gonna deep fry something, I just want some cheap oil to fry it in. Some of the other snacks that we like: extra jar of maple syrup. Yeah, some of those sort of miscellaneous things to be able to, if I run out of something in the fridge or in the cupboard, I'll check back here first and hopefully grab one and then add it to the grocery list to have on hand for next time. I've discovered Azure Standard, which is a company on the West Coast that has organic foods, and they have so much different stuff, but I go after the bulk dry goods. And so you place an order, they put it on a semi truck, and once a month the truck goes to different places across the country, and they have a drop site and you go and pick up your order. So that's been really nice, because sometimes it's really hard to find organic or non-GMO things at decent prices. So I've been really happy with the pricing of the stuff that they've offered. But again, spices, I bought a pound of pretty much every spice that we use really regularly. So then I will fill my little spice jars out of these. My 5-gallon bucket of flour. We have a local milling company actually that I can buy 25-pound bags of unbleached flour for a really good price. And a 25-pound bag of flour just fits in a 5-gallon bucket. These are called Gamma lids, and they're really nice for being able to store things that you get into regularly. Normally a 5-gallon bucket would have those clip type of lids, and those are good if you're storing things for extended periods of time, but something like this flour that I get into pretty regularly. In fact, you might have seen back in the cupboard, I need to refill that square container of flour, so I'll fill it up out of here. When this runs low, I'll get another 25-pound bag. Upright freezer. It stays pretty well stocked with, I like to get a half pig and a quarter beef. Probably about every 6 months we get one or the other. And cat food, extra paper products. Again, maybe someday I'll put some sort of shelving unit here as well, so that hopefully next year I'll do more canning and have even more stuff to store. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little look into my kitchen and pantry. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or want some clarification on anything that I talked about, just leave a comment below or leave a comment on the blog post that is going to accompany this video. I'll link that in the description. I think it's going to be called something like Start in the Kitchen, Good, Better, Best, talking about ingredients and things in the kitchen. Please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that I'm going to be creating for you guys. At least for a little while, I'm going to stay in the kitchen and do some videos on things like tips on sourdough, how to start a sourdough, how to keep it alive, how to let it sleep for a little while, that sort of thing. I also plan to do a few recipes like yogurt in the Instant Pot, homemade yogurt, and my family's favorite cast iron deep dish pizza recipe that I might be willing to share that with you guys in a video and a blog post. So yeah, please like this video, thumbs up, and subscribe. Check out the blog post that goes with it. And thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this video today. I hope you were inspired a little bit as you look ahead to what changes you could maybe make in your pantry. So let me know what your thoughts are. Thanks for being here. Little tour of my kitchen and pantry. And there go the cats knocking things over.